everyone. Welcome back to the Sacred Femme Alchemy podcast. And I'm super excited today because I have a very beautiful guest. She's actually going to be the first guest for 2025, and it's Marie Zoutomou-Quintanilla. And you're such a beautiful soul. And Marie and I actually know each other through a mutual friend in the whole entrepreneur business scene. And when you and I connected, I felt like I found a friend that I've known for so long. And I just remember we were chatting and you just had so many beautiful stories. And I remember we were talking about, we'll share here too, just your experiences. And I remember you said, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
I did. I wanted to give you a moment to speak, but I love that because I haven't known you for so long, but just the moment I met you, I was open because I think it was your energy. Your energy
Yeah.
was open. So mine was open. So I was able to be myself with you and tell you, I don't even know why I'm telling her this.
Yeah, no, it was so funny because we were going to talk about like collabing together, and then all of a sudden we got so deep. And I was like, I wasn't expecting this. It's like
But that's what happens when we allow ourselves to be ourselves. And then I think the other person feel that energy and they're able to be open. Just like,
Exactly.
I don't know, Lisa, if you ever had this experience where, you meet someone and then I think that's the same thing you and I had, where you start to share your journey without them even asking you about your journey.
Yeah.
But when you're done and they're like, wait a minute, I'm going through that right now. So yeah, it's all our energy, our
Oh my
energy.
God. I love it. I love it. And I want to give my audience an introduction to you. So Marie Quintanilla is a business speaker, consultant, and coach dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs, executives, and teams to grow, lead, and thrive. As a founder of Seek Coaching, she blends personalized consulting, leadership development, and professional speaking to help individuals build resilience, connections, and unlock growth. And she has a passion for elevating others, and you have so many powerful insights designed to inspire action and lasting success. And that's what's not in here in the little bio that I read was that you have so many books. You have so many books full of gems. And so I just want to give you a shout out and kudos to you for just all the work that you're bringing into this world. And like I love to ask a lot of my guests is, how were you even on this path? If someone met you maybe 10 years, I mean, sometimes we surprise ourselves with how far we've come along. And so I just want to learn to just love and hear about your journey.
First of all, Lisa, I want to say you are also amazing and kind and beautiful inside and out woman. Since like the moment I met you, I fell in love with you. So
Oh,
I have so much gratitude for us having this conversation today. So before I start, I want to give my gratitude to you. Thank you for being who you are.
oh, thank you.
Yes. So now I'm going to answer your question. Well, I'm someone though, I was born and raised in West Africa, and I always dreamed of moving to the United States and being a businesswoman. Most people grow up saying, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer. Mine was actually, I want to be a businesswoman. And I remember as a little girl in West Africa, a lot of the people would say things like, wow, how are you going to get there? Because, growing up in Africa, Guinea, a lot of
Mhm.
us want to come to America, but, it's not so easy. It's a big dream. So, but I ended up achieving my dream, getting here, and not only to find out that I was going through my testing time. I call it testing times because I truly believe all of us, no matter what age, what religion, what gender, we all have different times where we have to overcome life testing times, right? So mine, I came from a place where I was like, yay, thank you, God. I'm here in America. I'm going to school. I'm living my dream. I'm going to be a businesswoman. Not too far from then, I get diagnosed with cancer. So, talking about being tested, I was not only going to school at night, was fighting cancer, losing my home, losing my job. And I think that experience really molded me to be who I am today and to be doing what I'm doing today. And that experience got me ready to be able to say, I'm going to help somebody else grow.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure there's just so many different types of things that were going on in your head at the time of it's kind of like when you have that goal and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm here in America, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden you got hit with something else. And so what kind of support and resources did you have that you kind of just had around you to go through that time? And how long did that period last for you?
Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you're asking me this question. For me, I have to say my faith in God, because the moment I heard you had cancer, that moment I was like, wow, who is going to save me? I may die. So that moment, I became very spiritual. It was like, whoa, I got on my knees, had my hands up, my Bible was open. I was crying to God. I'm like, oh, Lord, help me. I'm stage 3. The cancer's spread in my lymph nodes, and I don't want to get to
Wow.
part. So I was on my knee, Lisa, and I asked God, I said, Lord, I said, I promise you, if you let me live, I will do your work. I would tell everyone about you. I would tell them how great you are. And then, so silly. And I asked him that. And then I say, Lord, you know, I would love to meet a husband and have kids. And I started telling him all my problems all at once, that just tells you like when we're healthy, we say we believe in God, but when we're really going through it, that's when we really, I remember, Lisa, I was reading my Bible every day. Now, 13 years later, sometimes I miss reading my Bible because I'm too busy working. But that just tells you when we're in a place where we don't have anyone to turn to, we turn to God. So for me, I really did turn to God. That was my faith really helped me. And if you're listening and if you don't believe in God, just know that it's really the way you live your life, it's who you are, how kind you are to others, how that is very important. But my case, my belief and believing in God really helped me, because here I was homeless. I lost my job. I was going to school at night. The repo guy was looking for my car.
Wow.
So I was in a relationship that was not healthy. So I felt like everything was coming down on me. So my faith, Lisa, was really my faith in God.
Mm.
What that really helped me keep going. The words in the Bible kept me going. That was my first, yeah, I have to say God, my relationship with God.
And that's so interesting because sometimes when we're truly in those testing moments and those testing times, it's so easy to say, well, God doesn't exist. Right? It's there's that
Right.
always like excuse
Yes.
or that mindset, well, if there was really a God, then this wouldn't be happening
Yes.
to me, right? And sometimes it's either you turn away from your spirituality, your faith, or you just go hard, you dive into it even more. And so, would you consider yourself spiritual before you were diagnosed, or you became spiritual as a result of your diagnosis?
I was always a believer. I was always,
Hmm.
as a little girl in West Africa, there was a time where I even thought I wanted to be a nun. And then I found out that I couldn't marry a hot guy. And I was like, forget it. I'm not going to be a nun anymore. So, so I changed my mind quick. But I was always, Lisa, a believer. I always believed
Oh,
in God, even through me dreaming to come to the United States. I truly believe my relationship with God helped me there, because I was having a faith where in my environment, it would be like impossible. How are you going to go to the United States? You don't even know how to read and write at 14. How are you going to go to college?
wow.
So, my faith in God was very strong as a child. But I have to tell you, because my faith was always strong, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I started questioning God. It was like, why me? Like, why did you have to put this on me? I thought I was your daughter. I thought I was your favorite. Like it was almost like
Mm.
that anger, why I question everything. But now that I think about it, is just because I believe in God and I have a relationship with Him, it doesn't mean I'm not going to go through hardship.
Mm.
Sometimes these hardship is what gets us ready to be who we are. So we're able to help others. So we're able to say, brother, sister, you'll be okay because I've been through it.
So it's almost there's that purpose to your pain.
Exactly. Exactly. Now I thank God. You know why? Because the old Marie 13 years ago was like, I'm gonna move to the United States. I'm gonna become a businesswoman. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna do it. Was all self-driven.
Ah, uh-huh, uh-huh.
But after cancer, it was more like, how can I serve others? How can I go and volunteer with American Cancer Society and share my story and help other cancer patients and help them raise funds for cancer? How can I start a business where I can help individuals and businesses thrive? All that
Mm.
came from because I was humbled through my journey.
And that's such a hard pill to swallow, that humility, right? That's
Yeah.
that's a hard medicine.
It is. When we're going through it, it's either we feel like we're alone or either we feel like we are somehow being punished. I even remember when I was told that I may not be able to have kids because I had so
Oh,
many treatments through cancer. And I know a lot of women can relate to this where as a little girl, I was like, I want to have kids and I want to have the
yeah.
family, the beautiful, the fenced house. As women, we dream about these things. So the moment I was told I may not be able to, I was like, oh my gosh. But again,
Mm.
my faith kept me going. It was like, okay, Lord, I was told I may not be able to have kids. Lord, the Bible says if I ask, I should receive. If I knock, the door will be open. So, hey, I want a child. Can you
Mm.
make that happen? Hey, can you please send me a 6'3", handsome, smart guy, never been married, never had kids? Can you deliver him to me, please? Because I can't find him. And I said all these things, Lisa. I wrote all these things. And, in a selfish way, I always tell women, God, if you don't have a relationship with God again, the universe, visualizing, whatever you believe in, we're not here to judge. Just know that anything is possible when you have a mindset of, I can and I will.
Mm. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love, love, love that. Because it is true, right?
Yes,
It's the
exactly.
mindset, it's what you can do. And whenever I find myself, particularly in that moment where I think I can't, and sometimes I have to go there, right? Just like you
We
said,
all
you
do.
you have you have that anger, right? Like, why
Yes,
me? I
yes,
thought I was a favorite. Da, da, da. And it's like we have to go through there. We have to feel our rage in order to get through to the other side because it's like with every contraction, there is always the expansion afterwards.
exactly, exactly. And Lisa, I have to tell you, now I'm 46 years old. Now I wake up and I'm like, so much gratitude in my heart is because those experiences that I've been through have made me really appreciate life,
Mm,
has made me so compassionate for my neighbors, for my friends, for my community, even for my enemy, because now I think, God, I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to get up and breathe today. So yeah, Lisa, I think that when we have the mindset of being a service because of our past history or because of whatever we've been through, that
mm,
all these things shape us. It shapes us. I don't know who's listening to this and what they're going through, but just know that nothing in life is an accident.
mm. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And I love that you use that as inspiration of I know that whatever I'm going through, even if it's a hard time, it's going to help someone else. It's
Amen.
always going to help someone else. And it kind of just takes us out of our ego of the why me? Why do
Yes.
I have to go through this? And sometimes in a way it's having privilege to go through it, even though sometimes at the time I'm
At
sure,
the time, it feels like the worst.
yeah, yeah. You're like, F this.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa, I have to tell you, I think that's human nature. That's all of us.
Yeah.
Like, but the good news is that when we are going through it, it doesn't mean just because now, I'm cancer free and I ask God
Mm,
for kids and husband, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be tested in different areas.
yeah.
I will be tested, but I know that I'm prepared to
Mm,
fight anything that comes my way now because I have the mindset that I'm unbreakable. Like I know that
mm,
I can do it. How am I unbreakable? These are some of the things that I do, Lisa, that keeps me spiritually grounded, that keeps me knowing that I will overcome anything. What I do is I pour into myself first.
mhm,
Every day before I pour into my kids' life, my partner, my community, I pour into myself first. Why? Because when my cup is filled, when Marie is truly at peace and happy, Marie goes into the office, good morning with joy, with smile. She's open to listening to anybody that's going through a hardship. She's open to strategizing with anybody. She's open to being a blessing. And what I do is every day I put an hour. for myself before my kids get up, before my partner gets up. I have an hour for myself, Lisa, where I meditate, I pray, I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. Sometimes I'm only repeating myself, but it's okay. But I'm building my mindset there when I take this time out. And I do my exercise. I go and run around the neighborhood and outside for fresh air. When I do that, Lisa, I'm letting myself know I am investing in myself. I am getting myself ready for the day. Whatever comes my way, I can conquer because I already know that I had that time to meditate. I truly believe prayer is where we go and ask God for forgiveness or whatever, and ask God for what we want Him to bless us with. And then meditation is more than where we sit and let Him communicate with us.
Mm, I love that. I love that you have this ritual every morning that allows you to prepare for yourself, that allows you to fill your own cup. And I like how you phrased of pouring into yourself, because it is true. If
Yeah.
we, as women, sometimes it's very easy to give ourselves to others first, to be
Yes.
very nurturing. And then, as the day goes on, we start to feel the emptiness within our own vessel.
Yes.
And it's so important to not get into that energetic state because it causes resentment
It
of
does.
the responsibilities you have to do, of being that nurturing person. And then it's just, I mean, for me, if I don't take care of myself, I just become very ferocious about it. And I become so protective of my time, you know?
Yes, and you're right, Lisa. I think as women, we're all guilty of this because
Yeah.
we want to do it all. We want to be the career woman. We want to come home and clean the house. We want, you know, we want to look great. We want to make sure our hair, I mean, for me, it's, I grew a little bit of white hair in front. I'm like, oh my God, 911, I gotta go do dye my hair. But we are so like, focused on trying to do it all.
Hmm.
Today, I just want all of us to give ourselves a permission that we are going to be our best every day, but we don't have to be perfect. It's
Hmm.
okay. No one is perfect. It's okay. And the moment we start telling ourselves, you know what, I'm doing my best. I'm not perfect, because I see moms that are like, I don't have time to take care of myself because I take care
Oh.
of everybody else. It's no, you know what? You have time to take care of yourself. Make it a priority, just like you have time to eat. That's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have to. If you don't, you're gonna end up just. And then when the thing is, if you're not pouring into yourself, I feel, Lisa, you start to get just like snappy with my kids. For a good example, I have two girls, 7 and 3. I get snappy when I don't exercise and write down my gratitude and meditate and exercise. I'm like snappy in the car. I'm like, get in the car. Get in the car right now. I gotta get you to school on time, girls. Let's go. I'm like Marie on acid when I don't take care of me. Okay. I'm like yelling at the kids, throwing them in the car, But when I had time to myself, I'm like, okay, come on, girl, let's go. I have all this positive energy, and I'm like, let's go. And then sometimes the girls are looking at me like, oh my God, who's this today? It's an example, like it's the importance of taking care of ourselves, because then
Oh.
we're not be at our kids or not be at our coworkers and or the people that loves us the most. So look at it that way. If you're investing in yourself, is you're gonna be more of a better person to somebody else. Because just imagine you have a coworker and you didn't have time for yourself, so you're like tired, you don't have energy, and you come into the office, you don't know what happened to their lives. You don't know, maybe they just lost somebody or somebody just was diagnosed with cancer. You don't know their story. So you come in there and you're snappy at them. And guess
Mm.
what? You just put so much on. They're already going through a lot, but you just not being the kind Marie that you are that day, your energy have put more on them. So remember, when we're being kind and we take care of ourselves, it's because it's going to help us and our loved ones and everybody else around us.
Hmm. Oh, that's so beautiful. And the concept that just came to my head was just that energetic hygiene,
Yes.
right? Just how it's like we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our energy. Like we shower, like whatever physical hygiene, body hygiene, whatever it is, but how are we bringing our energy into each situation? And it's hard, right? Like sometimes people just have very leaky energy. But it takes a lot of, I find, spiritual discipline, like the rituals that you talk about in the morning. It's if you don't do that, you know what happens. You become snappy. Maybe it's like you start to project onto other people. And that's why it's like we don't have to be so rigid, but it's knowing, okay, just how it's if I brush my teeth every night and if I floss and, then I probably won't get cavities. And so it's just being really mindful of the things that we can do to set us up for success.
Exactly, Lisa. And the funny thing is, people always ask me, like, when you were going through cancer, what was your mindset? How were you able to finish school and fight cancer?
Yeah.
There's four things that I did, and these are the four things that I always talked about in my retreats and my book. Is these four things can help you overcome any life challenge that you're going through. It could be a divorce, losing your home, losing your job. No matter what it is, you can overcome it. First is having faith that tomorrow will be a better day, believing that better days are coming, right? And then
Hmm.
second is positive attitude. Positive attitude comes from when you have faith, you create a positive attitude, right?
Hmm.
And then three is love for yourself. When you have faith and you have a positive attitude and you invest in yourself, you're going to love yourself. And then in return, you will love others. And
Mm.
then fourth is visualizing a better future. When you visualize a better future, everything else will open up for you. So those four things, I truly believe, no matter what you're going through, you can overcome any life challenges if you have faith, positive attitude, love for yourself and others, and visualize a better future. You'll go over it very smoothly. It doesn't mean you're not going to have testing times, but you will overcome it.
I love that. So I know that you already took us through one and two through your story, but I want to hear about how you did number three with loving yourself.
Loving myself, I have to tell you, I'm going to give you a good example, Lisa. When I was before I had cancer, my hair is good now, but it's just my hair was beautiful and I had the hourglass. So I really, as women, we take pride in these things, right? So when I had cancer, I had lost all my hair, all my lashes, all my brows. And then I had to remove, because I had breast cancer, I had to remove my chest. And that's part of the process. I have to tell you, Lisa, talking about being tested. I remember I had a girlfriend that lives in Utah. She called me right when I lost all my hair in the shower and it was just like falling off. I put my love for myself was based on my hair, my lashes, the way I looked at the time. So I felt like my whole world was done because I have lost everything, to me, so that moment, Lisa, I had to learn to love the Marie inside because I have lost everything that I thought made me lovable. I started thinking, how am I going to find a husband with no hair and no lashes and no eyebrows and no, babies, my girls, I started thinking all these things in my head because I defined me being lovable as the way I looked. And
Wow.
me being loved is people would love me if I look a certain way. So by me losing all those things 13 years ago and then working on the inner self, the Marie that would volunteer, the Marie that would care about her neighbor, the Marie that wants to take time to see how to make somebody else's life better. I learned to love myself because I lost everything, and I don't wish this on anybody because we can all do this without having cancer, is I had to learn to love myself all over again. And I did that through self-care.
Mm.
I didn't have the hair. So I say, you know what, Marie, find the best hat you can find or something. You don't have lashes, go put on fake lashes. You don't have brows, dry it in, girl. So I had to learn to love myself, the
Mm.
inner self as well, because I started meditating, praying, and exercising. So all those things helped me
Mm.
to really love myself. And really, I think it's good that I took that time to love myself that way because now I'm like, no matter what happens, I know I love myself. I don't have to look great to be
Mm.
lovable. I'm lovable no matter what because the person that I am, the joy that I bring to the universe, the energy that I bring to people when they see me, the way I make people feel when they leave my presence, that is powerful. So to me, loving myself took working with the inner self to be able to truly love myself.
Oh, wow. That's so beautiful. It was just all of those intrinsic things that you were able to tap into versus extrinsic. And it's hard, right? We're so
Yes.
wired, especially in our society, to think about, okay, what are the external validations that we're seeking, all of those things. And like, how do we, and like you said, okay, you don't have to go through cancer to experience this, being forced to, being humbled to that word that you use to be like, okay, you know what? I have to find a different way. I have to get right with me. And it sounds like you really got in touch with your soul essence.
Yes.
And it
Yes,
was
Lisa.
all of those attributes that you can't really quantify, right? With looks, it's easy to say, oh, beautiful hair. And I'm like, by the way, you're gorgeous. But
Oh,
it's,
thank you, Lisa. You're gorgeous still.
but it's true. It's if all of those things were
Yeah.
taken away, can
Yeah.
you still love yourself with those things that I used to identify with?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think, Lisa, I think all of us, we can improve on it every day.
Yeah.
And it's really taking the time to go, you know what? How can I be of service to others?
Mm.
Because, in our society, we're so caught up on our appearance and how much money we have and what car we drive and the house that we live in. And at the end of the day, if we really come from the place of service, God, a whole world changes. Or
Mm.
even money flows. I truly believe that money flows, happiness flows, but we come from a place of how can I be a blessing? How can I come from a place of service, especially in our businesses? If
Mm.
we come from a place of service, we will never have businesses closing as much as we do. But
Oh.
sometimes we forget about the core value is being a service. But we focus on how much can I make? How much can I bring in? And I'm guilty of it. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm guilty of it. And this year I told myself, Marie, how can I be of service? How can I be of service to my community, my people that I'm serving in my business, my
Mhm.
friends, everything. So yeah,
I think that's such a tough one, especially to the entrepreneurs that are listening to this, because sometimes it's true, it's the success of a business. Is it profitable? Right? I don't even look at it in terms of revenue anymore. Like when especially business coaches, when they put up their end of year numbers, I'm like, okay, what was the profit, not the revenue? Are you managing your cash flow? All of those things. And that's what that's what we're taught to do and educate ourselves on, is just how much money did we actually bring in? And it's
yeah,
hard to remember because maybe we wanted to get into the business, especially when it comes to heart-centered businesses or heart-led businesses, heart-led leaders, that it is from a place where we are serving people. But sometimes when we're doing the work, we want that extrinsic value of money.
yes. And Lisa, I posted something on LinkedIn a couple months ago where I said, in my MBA program, I learned everything about how to bring in money, how to bring in, but I didn't learn the most important part in my MBA. That was people.
Oh my gosh.
How do I treat people? I didn't learn that in an MBA program.
Oh
Guess
my
what? I
gosh.
realized,
Yeah.
that's when light bulb came on. I said, I think we got it all wrong. Like
Hmm.
we go to school, we learn about, the marketing, the target market, and all these fancy, yes, yes, it all helps. But we forgot to put a class that how do we deal with our coworkers? How do we deal with leaders? How do we deal with our customers? We forgot about that part. We don't teach that.
Mm. Oh my
We
God.
don't. And that's why I said, you know what? I'm going to start teaching that. I'm going to start teaching that because you know what? The moment we start treating people the way they want to be treated, our retention rate wouldn't be the way it is. Some
Mm.
people don't leave their job because they're not getting paid a lot. Some people leave because they don't like their direct manager. Study shows that.
Yeah.
So that just tells you if we had better ways of treating people, treating a human being just the way we want to be treated, our businesses would thrive. Our businesses would be making millions and we don't have to force it.
Mm. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that because I think the most, and I had my whole career in corporate as well before I, decided to dive into coaching. But that was the number one thing I always looked for. After I've had so many different experiences, some great ones, some toxic ones, the thing that matters to me the most, the thing that I value most is the culture. And
Yes.
exactly like you talked about, exactly what you spoke about is just who is the most important aspect of the business equation and that element, that variable. And to me, it's people. Like some people might say customers, some people will say shareholders. I mean, obviously, for a public company, you answer to shareholders, so you have to hit a certain number. But at the end of the day, it's how does a person feel? Are they tied to the mission of the business? Are you inspiring them to do amazing work? And are you kind and considerate to them? Are you assuming best intent? All of these different things. And to your point, if we created a different type of environment, maybe we would do better work.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Well said, Lisa. Ding,
Oh
ding,
my
ding, 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 ding,
God.
ding. I
But
wish I
there's
had a bell so I can just ring the bell.
but there's one thing that I do want to get back on into your story is your relationship. So you said that you were in a toxic one and now you have a husband, you have kids, and I know your story, but I think it's so important to highlight that piece because there's so many people that I think could benefit just from that specific experience that you've had that I think is just so powerful. And so you had cancer and you were in a relationship that just wasn't the best for you.
Yes, yes. And I have to tell you, Lisa, I think all of us can somehow relate to this, is that when you're
Mm.
not at your best, sometimes I feel like you almost attract the wrong people because my mindset
Mm.
was like, why me, God? And I have cancer. Who's going to want me? So my mindset was already like in a pity party.
Oh,
So of
uh-huh.
course, I attracted somebody who is not somebody that I would attract if I was in a place where I'm like confident Marie and
Yeah.
I know who I am. And so I attracted the wrong person because how I was feeling about myself. So it's
Mm.
very important the way we feel and the way our mindset can attract the wrong partner. It really can. Because at the time, my mindset was so wrong that I attracted somebody that wanted to control me and that wanted to tell me, what to do and what not to do.
Oh,
But I think at the time, I also think that person was a blessing because their controlling habits helped me find the best doctors. So I feel that sometimes things may not be for a good, but there's always a good in every experience. So for me, it may not have been good for long term, but I attracted him because the way I was feeling about myself. And
mm.
the blessing that I learned from that was I needed somebody like that to help me find the best doctor because they were so controlling that they were controlling my doctors as well. So that was a blessing. There was a blessing in that. But to answer your question, Lisa, is that just know you can't find true love until you yourself is in a good mental state because
Mm-hmm.
you feel good about yourself because you can attract exactly what you are living,
Mm-hmm.
your mindset, everything. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are in a place where you feel confident, you feel empowered, there's a lot that you can say when somebody comes to you and they're not aligned with you. You can just say, no, I know who I am and I'm happy by myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when
Mm-hmm.
you're not at that place, you're feeling weak and you feel that, your life is not great. It's very easy to be like, okay, just come on in. I'm not really, I don't have hair right now. I don't have eyebrows. I have lashes. Okay, I'll take you. So I wanted to share that story, but just know that it all comes from self-love. Then you're able to attract the love that you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something I always like to say is water seeks its own level.
Amen.
Yeah.
Lisa, look at you. I think I have to borrow that one next
Yeah,
time.
use it because it is true. Like when I can definitely relate to that. And your story, I think, just resonates with so many people, regardless of your women, like whatever you identify with. It's just when we're in that state of feeling not great about ourselves, when we're feeling very low, and it's almost like someone comes in that preys on that of us not feeling our best.
Yes,
And it creates this imbalance of power
yes,
because the minute sometimes when we start to feel more confident, the dynamic switches And
Yeah.
it's hard to have two confident people in a relationship. And I admit that I've been on both sides of that type of dynamic. And it's hard, but I love that you said that when you are confident, you're willing to not settle for crumbs. You're willing to walk away from things and not just be in that desperate energy of, I need someone to complete me, to be this companion, to make me feel good because I don't feel good about myself. But if I have someone, then it means maybe I'm worthy, right? To that external world and everything, right?
Yes, yes. I see now why you are a coach, Lisa, because
Yeah.
you are, yes, I see it. So you're truly right, Lisa. That is so true. So if anything, if you're listening to us and you're thinking, you know what, I want to meet my partner this year,
Mm,
focus on really feeling your best first. And then you don't even have to chase it when you're feeling your best. You know, I remember this is,
yes. Oh my
I
God.
love telling stories, Lisa, so I'm going to share this.
Please.
I remember after I left that relationship and I met my husband now, and I had a real estate business at the time, and I was not thriving. I was having a hardship in my business. But he told me when we got married, he goes, I never knew you had problems. You were so confident and you looked happy. Every time I would see you, you looked like $1 million and your bank account was booming. So he was attracted to that. He was attracted to a woman that was happy and fun and I don't, I'm doing well. He was attracted to that. People don't like feeling like, a downer every time they're around you. That's the truth. So you have to take care of you. So when that love comes, they'll feel your
Mm,
energy and they'll be attracted to that love that you bring.
mm,
So because nobody, especially when you first meet and you're single, if you're walking in already, you're bringing in your baggage, you're going to scare them off, or in my case, you will have them, but they're not healthy, So make sure you
ah.
pour into yourself first.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so how was it with your relationship when you first met your husband? What was it like? Did you just put it out all on the table? You're like, this is what I want, all of it.
Yes, Lisa. And if you're a woman or a man, whoever, and you're listening to this and you're single, don't be afraid to tell people what you want.
Mm,
Because as women, sometimes a man would tell us, you know what, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. And then you're sitting in the other, and you want kids and you want to get married, but because you have a fear of not losing that hot guy or that hot girl, you'll go, oh, okay. And you'll just keep going. No, I dare you this year. When you meet somebody and they tell you, I don't want this and you want it, I dare you to be true to yourself and say, you know what? I respect that. But in my case, this is what I want because there's power in that. I remember when I met my husband at the time, he was like, I don't think I want to get married and I don't think I want to have kids. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, Marie, if you tell him, in my head, I'm talking before I started saying, I said, God, if you tell him you want kids and you want to get married, he may run off. But I was like, no, Marie, you have another chance to life. Tell him what you want. If he's not the one, it's okay. And then I'm thinking to myself, Lisa, I swear to you, I was telling him, I want to get married. I want to have kids. I understand you don't want that. But a fear inside of my head, I was like, oh my God, he's going to walk off. He's so hot. Oh my God, I might lose him. And I was like, a little bit of fear. But I'm so glad, Lisa, I said what I said because I told him, I said, you know what? I want to have kids. I want to get married. If you don't want, that's okay. But I'm going to give you a year to put a ring on it. If you can, that's okay. Just step aside and let somebody else do it.
oh,
Ladies, I tell you, my husband till this day said, I only married you because I knew I couldn't afford to lose you.
ah,
So I wanted to share that because I know when we're single, we want that love and we want somebody to and that's human. We're human. We want that. But just know that always come from a place of what you want and what you need. And then whoever is going to spend that lifetime with you, in his case, he didn't want it, but he said he couldn't afford to lose me. And then he also said, I forgot to say this. He also said, I know you were crazy enough to walk away. So there we go.
And that's just the standards, right? That's the standards that you spoke about of like you love yourself so much that you're willing to walk away from things that just aren't in alignment with you. You don't have time to waste. And it's just like you learn that humbling lesson that you had a second chance at life. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to take it. You know,
Yeah.
they
And
can
at
either
least
go
I
with me
have
or
to
not.
add this before I forget.
Hmm.
I feel like this is important. When I was telling him that, ladies, I was sitting there with a wig, okay, at this. And then my eyebrows drawn in, and then I had field lashes on, okay? The only reason I had the confidence to say that to him is because I worked on the inner self. I went and did the meditation, the prayers, wrote down the things I was grateful for. I exercised. I pour into myself so much that I wasn't going by because my looks was not perfect. I was going by
Mm,
the heart. It was more like, Marie, this is what you want, and it's okay. And you're gonna say what you want.
that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. So for women that, or just anybody that has a hard time connecting to their heart or those activities that make their heart feel alive, what kind of advice do you have for them to step into that energy more, to love themselves more, right? Because it's different. It's like self-care, like sure you can go get a facial or whatever, but like you're talking about something that's so deep, so unwavering that no matter what happens outside of you, you know your worth to your core.
Yes, Lisa, that is so true. Again, I'm not preaching being spiritual, but
Yeah.
for me, going to the Bible every day and reading that, I am loved, that no matter what, God will always be by my side. There's power in that because when I don't know the answer, I go back to, I trust you. I trust you,
Mm,
God. I know you're going to get me out of this. I know you're going to deliver. I know, you're going to help me. So if you don't believe in God, then whatever you believe in, whatever source you believe in, you got to have something to turn to. Like, really, you do
hmm
really do, because it's like life is going to throw us challenges no matter who we are. You can have all the money in the world, you're going to have a different challenge, you know?
hmm
So, but for me, having that relationship with God helps me because I'm able to say, you know what, Lord, I'm going to let go. I'm going to breathe in. And then when I breathe out, I'm going to let go. Let you
Mm,
take over. I'm going to let you guide me. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm going to let you have it. Take care of
hmm
it. And then
hmm
I'll release.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love that you're just being so open talking about it, because it works for you.
It does.
It works. And I want to give a different perspective also to some people because I'm not religious, but
Yeah.
something you said where you always feel God beside you. So
Yes.
I do Kundalini yoga and there's a mantra. It's called Aung San Waheguru. And that's exactly what it translates to. And
Yeah.
when you chant it and when you feel this higher presence or connecting to a higher presence that you're not alone. And
Yes.
so it's just like whatever spirituality you have, whatever faith that you have, right?
Yes.
And
It
there's
does
always,
not matter. It does not
yeah,
matter
it doesn't.
how.
And
No.
it's substitute your own word for whatever higher consciousness it is. Maybe it's your higher self, whatever it is.
Yes.
And you were talking about this idea of surrender. And I was doing this meditation this morning where essentially what it was is the effect of it was just when I don't know what to do.
Yes.
Right. And so
Yes.
it's what do you turn to? And so that's like exactly what the meditation was. It was like a Kundalini meditation. I was in a certain like body posture. But it's just those feelings that ultimately, to me, spirituality connects you to that highest part of like your soul, your essence. And I'm going to get
Yes.
like super mystical about it, but it's just like when we think about the higher realms, when we think about the earth realms, how do we bridge that gap together? And for me, like when I'm in that spiritual state, when I have those constant downloads, when I have that cosmic connection, it's when I know that the infinite is within inside my finite nature and vessel.
Yes, Lisa. Remember, I just talked about that. The Bible is where I go and read, and
Hmm.
then when I talk to God and ask Him through the Bible, this is what I want. I want you to help me with this. Meditation is really being in a quiet, so that
Yes.
way God can communicate. Your angels, your guides, whatever you believe in, you
Yes.
can hear that voice, right?
Yes.
So it
Yes.
doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jewish,
Nothing.
Muslim,
Yeah.
nothing. If you quiet your mind and you just stay at peace, and you're open, the key is being open to it. You will be guided. You'll be, and I truly believe, I always have, I remember I used to have a radio show at KKLA, it's a Christian radio station.
Oh.
I remember people would always say, oh, I don't want to tune on because I'm not Christian. Oh, I don't, but I realized it's not about if you're Christian, Muslim, or anything like that.
Mm,
It's really about your relationship, where a place where you can go and get quiet, who you can turn to, whatever that may be, through meditation. You just have to have someone bigger than yourself, someone believe bigger than yourself. Because when you are in a dark place and you're going through your testing times, in my case was cancer, losing my home and losing my job, I was like, oh my gosh, why me?
mhm,
So you got to have something to turn to. You have
mhm.
to have someone to turn to. And yeah, Lisa, I love what you just said.
I love it. And so all of these beautiful wisdom, these nuggets can be found in your books, which is if someone wants to connect with you more, listen to your wisdom more, which book should they start off with first?
You are being tested. Do not worry. I love
Oh,
that book, you guys, because I wrote that book when I was fighting cancer, where I talk about having faith, positive attitude, love for yourself and others. And so please, if you just want to connect with me on Instagram, I'm always putting nuggets there for free, and I don't, I just want to be a blessing. There's ways how I can be a blessing to you without you actually giving me money. So Instagram is one of the places where you can go and follow me, and I'm always dropping nuggets every day and on
oh,
there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And what is your intention for the new year?
Lisa, I love how you said that. For me, is last year I was like, oh, I want to reach 6 million souls. This year I said, I want to reach 6 million souls, but I want to build a legacy with it.
Oh,
Yeah, a legacy where I'm going to leave this earth and I have made an impact, and my kids will still be talking about it when I leave. So, yeah, that
amazing.
just means I need to be true to myself and I need to be of service. And I know everything else will unfold.
And so what kind of impact do you want to leave on a person?
Yeah, I just want to be able to, especially when somebody is going through their testing times, their hardship, either in their personal or in their business. I want to be able to use my experience to guide them and strategize with them and help them win. When they win, then I know I have made a difference. That's
Oh,
it.
oh my God, I love it. I love it. Any closing thoughts that you have before we wrap up?
Yes, I love saying this, Lisa. I always say we all go through testing times so we can be a blessing and a service to others. So remember that. So if you're going through your testing times today, just know there's something greater coming.
Amazing. Thank you for that beautiful message. Thank you for leaving that for the audience, anyone listening out there. And I will share all of your links in the show notes of this podcast. But thank you so much, Marie, for just being here, for gracing me with your presence and spending time with me today.
Lisa, I have to say, you're like a sister that I just enjoy talking to. The moment I met you, I fell in love with you. So thank you. I felt like I was getting to know you more on this conversation. So thank you for having this platform where people can come and share and be themselves and be a blessing and be a service. So thank you.
Of course, of course. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Sacred Femme Alchemy, and I will catch you on the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.